tell you what, I can't. I'm so happy that the international break is finishing. We've got the football back.
I hate it, mate. Honestly, I can't stand it.
Well, let's have a chat about Villa versus Leeds then this weekend. Welcome back to the latest episode of B6 and Beyond. You are here with me and Mike. We're here to discuss Leeds away. So, if you're not aware, Mike is a Leeds fan and he is here to give us a preview of what to expect from Leeds United this weekend. Before I do get into it, I just want to remind you, we have an ongoing giveaway for either match tickets or a shirt of your choice. All they need to do to qualify is make sure to hit that subscribe button. We give away that every 500 subscribers and we are getting very close to the next one, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. So, Mike, let's get straight into it, mate. What are you expecting for the weekend?
Hopefully a close, tight game where we're compact and we actually hold the ball, unlike last game against Brighton and Forest where we just collapsed. And that's what I don't want to see.
So what in your opinion, what was the root cause of the collapse?
So if I'm being honest with you, I didn't see the Brighton game. I was out busy with my daughter. But the Forest game, I just think that we took the lead and all of a sudden they scored 2 minutes later and then we just couldn't do anything with it. Like whether or not it was just the pressing, the weak passing, we just couldn't get rhythm in the game. And I think that's been, especially like the Arsenal game as well, which again, that's one of your anomalies kind of thing, where it's Arsenal, you're not expected to beat Arsenal. But whereas like your Forest, okay, Brighton, we're not really expected to win. We have a terrible, terrible record there. We haven't even scored at their new stadium yet. So that I can forgive. I think the Forest one is just the manner, the fact that didn't seem like there was any fight in it.
Okay, so if Villa are to exploit Leeds, where would you say you are weak, where you are fragile?
Our attack.
Okay.
Definitely our attack. Obviously, you got DCL, which I know how much of a fan you are of him. I just think his hold-up play is brilliant. His link-up play is good. His finishing is absolutely shocking. And then you've got Aronson on the right wing. So he's one of the players where I don't mind him. But again, it's his finishing, his decision-making can be poor. Okafor is decent. I'm a massive fan of him. I just think that his fitness has been the issue for us so far. We haven't seen the best of him yet. Right, we've seen glimpses of it, but we haven't seen like the best of it.
I think we had brief conversations on it earlier on in the season. I think I said like my concern for Leeds this season was you scoring enough goals this season, and kind of seeing that. I think potentially you might need to invest in January if you should be in touching distance of like the rest of the pack, because let's be realistic, there's a lot of fodder in the Premier League that you should be there or thereabouts with. That's not to say Leeds are fodder, but ultimately you've just come into the Premier League, and from a realistic point of view, you're not gonna, these games now aren't going to be what defines your season. It's going to be beating those teams around you. So if you are in touching distance, you might need to go and sign another right winger potentially to take over from Aronson, because he's not fantastic, or whether you go and sign another striker. But the problem is in the striker market, who is out there? That's the most difficult position to recruit for in the Premier League. And you look at, for example, Everton going out and sort of spending an absolute fortune on Tierno Barry. I think he's got £28 million or whatnot, and he's not exactly hit the ground running. So everything you do is a massive financial risk. So who from Aston Villa are you worried about this weekend?
I think McGinn, always that player that steps up against us, which obviously we've spoken about. Kamara, I'm a big fan of. I think that he will cause us trouble in the midfield. Again, the midfield, obviously, we've got Ampadu, we've got Statch, who can combat that if Statch is playing in the right position. I said on our podcast last week that he's playing a little bit out of position. He's more of a defensive midfield, that one that will just stand there and hold the ball, whereas he's been playing that more creative role. That doesn't suit him for me. Ollie Watkins, I know he hasn't scored many goals for you guys this season. I think it's only one or two. And you just know full well against Leeds, he'll probably bang a hat-trick against us if he's on his game. And it'll just be typical Leeds if that happens. But a fully fit, firing Ollie Watkins scares the fuck out of me.
So, what do you think your team will be this weekend?
So hopefully it's Perry in goal, and then it'll be Bogle right back, Rodon, and it will either be Strauch or Bijol centre back with him, and then Goodmanson left back. Midfield will vary. Ampadu will definitely be in there, and then it will either be Starch, Tanaka, or Longstaff. Two of the three. Aronson will be on the right hand side, Okafor on the left, unless he's picked up an injury, which I don't think he has. And if DCL was fit, it'll be him or Metcha.
Genuine question, and this is for my knowledge. So, do you think the manager is the correct man to keep you up?
I've had this debate at the start of the season. Yes, I would have said he was. I think he's made some errors, whether or not it's been like his team selection. I think have been on point every game apart from one. So I've got no issues with that. I think it's in-game subs, in-game management. For example, Bournemouth, we were 2-1 up with literally 5 minutes to go. He brings on Tanaka, who loses the foul, and they concede in the 93rd minute. Fulham game, which again we concede in the 90-something minute through a corner, but their substitute changed the game, and I don't think that he reacts to substitutes. So the Forest game, they made subs, changed the game completely. 5 minutes later, when they were 3-1 up, he then made subs. So I think that's part of it. But his structure, what he's done since from going from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-3-3, he's made us more. See, I say he's made us more combative in midfield and defensively. He has, but he hasn't, because we are so susceptible at times.
It's funny you mentioned substitutes there, because that is potentially an area where I think we could win the game. Whether if the game isn't put to bed before then, I think we have the ability on the bench to come on and make changes. So, one thing that was criticised of Villa was our summer recruitment and what happened. And then on the last day of the season, we went and signed obviously Harvey Elliott, who hasn't quite worked out yet. Jadon Sancho, who's been bit part, when he's played, he's looked all right. Lindelof, he's Lindelof. He's just a squad player at the end of the day. He's a body on the bench, but. Just to give you a bit of context, our bench against Bournemouth was Ross Barkley, Marco Bizot, Lamar Bogard, Evan Gessond, Lindelof, Ian Matson, Daniel Marlon, Jadon Sancho, and Yuri Tillemans, which is pretty strong.
Yeah.
We made substitutions and like, I'm sorry, but listen to this for free subs. As soon as it happened, I was like, Christ alive. When that happened, I was like, our bench is stacked. We brought off Buendia for Ross Barkley, brought off McGinn for Yuri Tillemans, and we brought off Onana for Jadon Sancho. So when you're bringing off the quality of players like you are, and then bringing on the quality of players like we did, realistically, that gives you a massive chance in the Premier League. The levels of squad depth that you need in the Premier League, especially if you're in Europe now, is insane.
Yeah, whereas we're bringing on Jack Harrison, and I've said this so many times, as much as I think he's got one of the best first touch I've ever seen, especially at Leeds, it's what he does afterwards is shocking. And then Dan James, who's coming back from injury, you're bringing him on, which is good. But then you bring on DCL for Metcha, and then, our bench last game was Joel Perot, Dan James, James Justin, Gruev, Tanaka, Pascal Stroud, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Carl Darlow, and Jack Harrison. So
just looking at your season so far to point, you've realistically beaten the two teams which I'd expect you to beat in West Ham and Wolves, because West Ham have been absolutely terrible. And then obviously Wolverhampton Wanderers, Jesus Christ, I thought they were going to beat you that day. And I watched that game because it was at the Molineux. I thought, this might be the game where they turn the season round, and you absolutely battered them that day. I remember it very, very clearly. You had a decent result against, I think it was Newcastle.
Yeah, we got a point against you. We could have won that as well.
I think you could have. I thought you played pretty well. And they've been terrible on the road as well all season. And then you got that. For me, the most impressive result on paper is actually the Everton result, because I think Everton after they played you, they went on a bit of a run and they were shit hot, and that was just, you kind of hit them at the right time as well, because it meant that, you know, Jack Grealish and that weren't in the squad properly, and they were still gelling, and like, it was just a real good, good time to play, I think, at that point. But like, your fixtures now, they're not looking pretty, are they, over the next few weeks?
So the next 8 games are just,
I'll say let's look at the next 4, for example. You know, you got us, and then it's Man City away, Chelsea at home, and Liverpool at home. I think personally, you could lose all 4 of those games.
Brilliant. Nice 12 points.
But you look after then, Crystal Palace will be difficult after the Brentford game. Brentford isn't something you can, like, don't get me wrong, we've lost twice this season to Brentford away. We lost on penalties, and we lost in the league. But the game in the league, we absolutely battered them, and then we should have got the result there, but we just could not put the ball in the back of the net. Creativity was a bit of an issue. That was when we were going through a bit of a barren spell.
Yeah,
I don't think that is a game which you can just completely write Leeds off. Personally, Sunderland might be a very interesting one, because this is kind of when their players will be at AFCON. So
but it'll only be a couple, which will be Siddiqui, their centre back. I know they got others, but they're more your squad players. They're not really starters.
Ronaldo, he'll go.
Yeah, Ronaldo.
Habib Diarra.
Oh yeah, Diarra. Yeah, forgot about Diarra.
Adingra.
Yeah.
Talibi, the Moroccan.
He's more of a squad player.
He still plays it, don't he? He plays off the right, don't he? I think.
Yeah, but from what I've heard, he's not been there.
Bertrand Traore, he'll go.
Yeah, but again, he's not played. I don't think.
It's either him or Talibi off the right, I think, isn't it? Or Adingra. So basically, they're losing 3 wingers. So either way, they're going to be short compared to where they are now, and then the bench will be a bit weaker. Don't get me wrong, in the midfield, they're still going to have Xhaka, who's playing absolutely out of his skin. But again, on that day, who knows? So, like I tried to say, really, your games and your season isn't defined by the next 4 games. At the end of the day,
No.
you've got fixtures that are coming up. And like I say, Ellen Road. I did a video on this on my TikTok channel earlier in the season after he battered Everton. If Leeds are going to stay up this season, it'll be the atmosphere at Ellen Road which generates that for you. And I would say that is probably my biggest concern, what that looks like. And I think Villa, for the first 15 to 20 minutes, we just need to control the ball, control the atmosphere, silence the crowd. As soon as you do that and play you at our own game, it's a completely different game. But if we let you come on to us and, you know, we give away some sloppy balls in the middle of the park, it could be a completely different game than what, you know, I'm hoping for. And like I said to you on your channel, just for a bit of context, we just did another video for Craig and Michael's YouTube channel. Which, Michael, do you want to just plug your channel where you are?
Yeah, so it is the All Leeds TV podcast, but we've changed the name. So let me just double check what it is, which is Leeds United Fan TV.
Yeah, so if you want to go and watch the video that I did with them, it's over on their channel on there, and they're also available on TikTok, which is it ALTV?
Yeah, All Leeds TV, and same on Spotify, which is the podcast, so All Leeds TV podcast. But yeah, I forgot what I was going to say then, because you just mentioned something before that with the video. No, it's gone now.
So what's your score prediction?
As much as I'd love to say that we're going to win or get a point, I have put Villa 2-1. And like I said, I hate saying I'd be happy with a point, but these types of game I would be happy with a point. I know it's at home and you won it all 3, but I'd take a point right now.
I think that's a fair assessment, mate. To be honest with you, you're playing a team that are competing in Europa League or in the Champions League last season, so it's not like we're mugs anymore. It's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same team that we played in the Championship and we had the game and the goal was given back to us, all that sort of stuff. This is completely different game, you know what I mean? So it's a fair assessment, mate. Thank you again for coming on, Mike. I've really enjoyed chatting with you, and good luck on the weekend. Not too much good luck, so I would like us to take the 3 points away from Ellen Road. If we don't give you a spanking and it's a 2-1 or something, that would be I would take it. So that's not too bad for your goal difference.
I hope not.
Right, if you've enjoyed if you've enjoyed this video, this podcast, make sure to drop a like on it. Have a goal of the video for 20 likes, and make sure to go and give Mike a follow and subscribe on his YouTube channel and TikTok. Up the Villa.